Hey guys, I'm finally back with a tutorial. This is a jungle cat look. I can't really say which one because by accident when I was looking at pictures I thought I was looking at two pictures of the same animal, but I did a jaguar's face with, I think it's a leopard spots. These aren't the same spots for a jaguar, so it's kind of a mixture, but I think it turned out pretty cool anyways, and who can really tell the difference. So for this look, I'm using this Monster Effects face painting palette, two Ben Nye face paints. These are just single pucks, and this one is Burnt Pumpkin and Honey Brown. So those two colors. I have another face painting palette from Wolf, and I'm using the yellow and white just to do like some highlights and stuff on it. And then some eyeshadows for blending and random stuff. And this is just the palette that I always use. They're just matte eyeshadow colors. I'm using the browns, the black, and a little bit of the yellows and whites. You can just use whatever eyeshadow you have handy as long as it's matte. And then I have a whole slew of different brushes that I'll show you which ones I'm using for which thing. Okay, so obviously I already have half my face done, and the nose I'll show you guys how to do like separately since I already finished it, but it was fairly easy. Yeah, so the first thing I'm going to do is take a small brush. This is like a fine detailing brush. This is from Michael's craft store. Dip it in water and into my black face paint, and I'm just going to do the eye shape first thing. Everything is like fairly messy because I'm just going to blend it all out after. Just something like that. And then I'm going to fill it in with the same black face paint, just with a slightly larger brush. Where is it? Oh, I seem to have lost a brush. Just with this brush and the same face paint going over my lid. And then I'm going to go on top of it with the matte black eyeshadow just to make it stay longer and a little more smudged effect, not so shiny. Okay, so there it is with the face paint. As you can see, it's pretty shiny, so I'm just using this round. It used to be a pencil brush, but it got very short and not pointy, but just using this brush with black eyeshadow from that palette and going over the face paint to make it a matte finish. Just very... Okay, I just ran out of memory space, so I had to go back and delete some things off this camera, so I don't know where I left off at, but just using the black eyeshadow to mattify the face paint. So once it's not shiny anymore, it's okay to go a bit outside the lines because I want it to be a little smudged. And then I'm going to use a black eyeliner for my waterline. Probably could have done this first step, I just forgot about it. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do is just the base all over my face. So this is the Monster Effects palette, and I'm just using this darker orange color. There's an orange and a yellow. I'm just starting off with the orange and with a flat small brush. So I'm just dipping some water into that, and then I'm going to take this brush and just brush it very roughly all over my face because I want to leave the brush strokes. Just so it kind of gives like the start of fur effect. So I'm just going to do that all over my face and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so now I've painted the whole thing. You can see all the like little brush strokes from using that flat brush. It's hard to do around the eye area because I don't want to obviously stroke the brush near my eye that hard, so it's kind of flatter there, but I'll fix it up later with a skinny brush. So next thing I'm doing is taking this angled eyeliner brush. This is like a pretty rough one. You can see I can like flick it like that. Just taking this, dipping it in the black eyeshadow from that palette, and I'm just going to soften up the edges around the eye area. And I'm just flaring it out as well. I'm just dragging out the corners. And then underneath. I look like a big freak right now. And then just with that pencil brush, I'm just going to soften it a little bit there. And just using that flat brush again with the orange on it. Make some feathered lines. Okay, so there is the eye. Next thing you want to do is just draw in the nose. Mine's already drawn in because it was very simple. All you want to do is it's kind of an upside down heart without the top. You want the top to be rounded like that. And then there is my nostril, so you're really just overemphasizing it on the outside. So I just used black face paint, and I didn't go over it with the eyeshadow because you want it to be shiny, like how animals' noses are. And then, of course, all animals, well, dogs and cats usually have this line that's going down there, so you want to draw that in. And then for the mouth, it's pretty much just a triangle with like a Joker smile. So I'm just using this thicker detail brush. You want to trace it down your normal lip shape. So there's the basic lip, pretty simple, and just mattify it again. Face paint's not so good at staying on like lips and stuff or anything that's moist, so adding the eyeshadow will also make it stay on longer. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do is draw in some of these like little line details. Spots is like the last thing to do. So I'm just taking this thin brush with the black. I haven't really used anything besides those two colors yet. And then just going to draw these lines in for like where the whiskers are. Just so I know not to go over those areas. There's an eyebrow type thing here. Everything's done just like very messily. A nose detail. Just doing like little like horn lines. And then the chin is a little half circle thing. Under the eye, that one didn't draw in very good, but I'll fix it later. And I think that is it for those. So next thing I'm going to do is taking that angled liner brush and the black eyeshadow, just trace along those to feather them out. Okay, so there are basic like shapes, and now I'm taking my thinnest brush that I have, and I'm using those two Ben Nye, those two Ben Nye face paints, these two, and I'm just drawing little like hairlines all over my face. So here's that pumpkin color, and you just want to drag everything like outwards for the hair. I don't know, this probably like barely shows up on camera, but just little spots like that. So I'm just going to finish those up and show you what it looks like. Okay, so that is after using that pumpkin color, and now I'm just using the brown, the honey brown color. These are from Ben Nye. And doing even fewer of these ones just because I don't want it to stick out too much. I just want it to like give texture to the skin. It's just a few random strokes here and there. So that one went really dark for some reason. Okay, so that's pretty much it for those. Once it dries, it gets a little more faded. I also like to dab it with my finger to make it blend in a bit more. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do is there is some yellow highlights, so I'm just using another angled eyeliner brush. This one's a softer one, and just using the yellow from this basic face painting palette. I'm also using a tiny bit of white. And I'm just going to highlight in between these like whisker line things. That ended up being more white than yellow. And just dabbing that out. This whole part right here is supposed to be lighter, so I'm doing like a half circle type highlight. Blending that out. Around the eyes, just right here. That one I'm going to leave unblended. I'm going to make it a little bit more yellow though. And then under the eye right here as well. This one I'm just like dabbing the brush to give it texture as well. Where else? I think this thing right here on both sides. It doesn't show up too much on camera, but in person it makes a big difference. Having highlights. The chin. Just along this line. And that's pretty much it, I think. But also on the whiskers, I did like, if you can see, some like lighter lines also with the yellow. So there is that. And then with that pencil brush, I'm going to use this reddish brown eyeshadow there mixed with this lighter color. And that's just to do my shading. So just around here. Underneath the outside of the eye a bit. Where else did I do? Oh, the nose. Want that area to be darker. I think that's pretty much it for all the shading and everything. Just gonna touch up this eye area to make it a little more feathered like this one. Okay, and then the last thing left is the spots. Okay, so for the spots, I'm taking this thicker detailed brush. It's, well, not thick, but a little bit thicker than the small one that I was using. And just with the black face paint, on the inside, the inner part of the face, the spots are smaller and then they get bigger towards the outside. So just on the nose, I'm doing little tiny half circles. You guys can hopefully see this. You can see all those. And then just doing some little like freckle dabs towards the top. And you want the things to go in like they're in every direction, not just all in the same direction. And then the next thing I'm doing is just taking that fluffy brush. It has a tiny bit of black eyeshadow on it, and just dabbing over those spots just to make them dark. And with these spots, you always want one side to be darker, like these ones. There's like one lighter side, one darker side. So I'll do a couple more on like the forehead. There's really no like pattern really to doing it. I just did it all over my face, but I did small ones here and then started making them bigger. So I'll just show you guys a couple more forehead ones and then I'm going to fill in the rest of my face. And then filling them in. And then I like to just go over the one side at the end with the face paint just to make it darker. Alright, so there's that, and I'm just going to do the rest of my face. Okay, so I'm finished all the spots. I'll show you close up how big they are on the neck, and I filled them in with a lot more black eyeshadow than the other ones. Really small around here and on the chin. I didn't do any big ones at the bottom. Smaller to bigger up here. I covered my eyebrows with them. I don't think those type of cats really have eyebrows. I just didn't bother to cover mine. You could probably cover them and go over them and it would look good. I just went over top of mine with like little spots and stuff to kind of make them blend in a bit more. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Final touches, I'm just gonna go over my face really quick, like little strokes with this dark brown, just for the final like fur effect. Just little lines like that. You want some of them to go over the spots. Okay, so that's pretty much it. And then for the finished look, contacts. The only ones that I had that were even similar were bright orange. It looks better than my eye color for this look, but I definitely would suggest using like a reddy brown contact. These are the ones I have, so I'll just pop those in and show you guys what it looks like. Okay, so there is the finished look with the contacts in. Definitely looks better with contacts than with my eye color, but yeah, I think it turned out pretty cool. Not too hard to do. At least it's using like only face paint, so that part's pretty simple, and just doing the spots and stuff is simple, but it's just tedious. But hope you guys enjoyed this look. Hopefully I'll have some more tutorials for you soon. I always say that and then I never do videos for a couple months, but I'll see if I can figure out something to do.